Welcome to a taster of the South African Payroll Training course. We are CIPP and CIPD certified international payroll trainers based in the UK. We offer both audio and virtual training at a competitive price. After this preview, should you wish to learn more about South African payroll processes and technicalities, don't hesitate to contact us. Training outlines. Read the disclaimer. Our learning objectives. An example of training course content. International payroll processing steps. Payroll is compensation a business must pay to its employees for a set period and on a given date. The payroll process can include tracking hours worked for employees, calculating pay, and distributing payments via direct deposit or check. Pre-payroll activities. A written statement will include the business name, employee's name, job title and description, and start date. Also, it should include an employee's pay, hours work, holiday entitlement, employee's location of work, collective agreement, notice period, pensions, a guide on how to complain about disciplinary dismissal decision, period of the stay, currency of the paid salary, any additional pay and benefits, terms relating to employees returning from extra work. Employment contract. Employment contract is an agreement between employer and employees employment conditions. It's also called as terms of contract. The employment contract includes a written statement of employment rights, responsibilities, duties. The employer provides to an employee within 2 months of the start of employment. If the employee is working abroad, then the written statement includes the following information in addition to what's included in the written statement of the employee working in the UK. Employment status. Types of employment status. Worker who doesn't have the written contract and works personally for a reward like money or the promise of future work. Employee who works under an employment contract. Self-employed and contractor who runs a business for oneself and takes responsibility for its success and failure. Director who runs limited companies on behalf of shareholders. Office holder who is a company director. Board member, trustee. A court or employment tribunal makes the decision of the employment status. Most frequently used payroll acronyms and meanings. From the 30th of March 2022, Version Annual Reconciliation 2022 changes states that all annual reconciliation declarations EMP 501 submission period opens on the 1st of April and closes on the 31st of May, and employers are required to submit their annual reconciliation declarations covering the full year from the 1st of March 2021 to the 28th of February 2022. Tax rates are proposed by the Minister of Finance in the annual budget speech. Above and on the next slide is an example of 28 years working as a HR supervisor's salary in Cape Town. Payroll methodology. Minimum wages in South Africa is expected to reach 23.19 South African rand an hour by the end of 2022. According to the Trading Economics Global Macro Models and Analyst Expectations. In the long term, South African minimum wage is projected to trend around 24 South African rand an hour in 2023 and 25 South African rand an hour in 2024, according to econometric models. Taxpayers are advised to set up a credit push option to use one of SARS' alternative methods of payment. When making a payment to SARS, e-filing will send a payment request to your bank which will reflect the amount that needs to be paid on the relevant bank product. The taxpayer then authorizes this request, normally via the relevant bank product. This forms an instruction to the bank to make the payment to SARS. Year-end payroll task. Bulk ITREG is performed automatically twice a year after the annual and interim employer reconciliation period. Where an employer submits the interim of an annual EMP 501, a bulk registration process for employees who are not registered for income tax is performed. Key dates. On the 18th of May 2020, EasyFile version 7.0.5 was released. SARS introduced an updated EMP 201 declaration to incorporate COVID-19 changes in legislation for SDR payment holidays, and on the 11th of March 2022, EasyFile version 7.2.4 was released. Then on the 16th of February 2022, BRS Pay-as-you-earn Employee Reconciliation version 2100 was released. The MTC applies to fees paid by a taxpayer to a registered medical scheme or similar fund outside of South Africa for that taxpayer and any dependents, as defined in Section 6B1 of the Income Tax Act 1962. This MTC seeks to bring about greater fairness and help achieve greater equality in the treatment of medical expenses across all income groups. When the original EMP 201 is requested, the system will verify the employer's tax compliance status, TCS. If the employer is non-compliant, the ETI utilized field will be locked on the EMP 201 form, and the employer may not offset the ETI against the pay-as-you-earn liability. Submit an accurate, fully paid declaration to SARS on time. Comply with all prescribed administrative processes and timeframes. Get in touch for further information on South African payroll management on training. Call or email us. Thank you for your business.